It's that man again, it's that man again. Yes, Mr. Boaty is here. By order of authority, he entertains the men and the queen's mother's pride and joy, Mrs. Boaty's boy. And it's useless to complain when trouble's brewing. It's his doing. That man again. Wrong button, wasn't it? Right, here we go. There we are. There we are. Hello, darlings, and the very warmest of wibbly wobbly willy waving welcomes to Tuesday. Blimey, Tuesday. To Tuesday Night Live. And it is my undisputed heavyweight joy and privilege to be here with you once again. And we're going to be here. Take your clothes off. We are going to be here for the next hour, aren't we, darling? Oh, yes. And we are going to wave away Tuesday. Fucking hell, am I saying this again? Goodness gracious me. We're going to be waving away Tuesday and welcoming in Hump Day. How? It's not a week since I last said this. I last said this about half an hour ago. Oh, dear me. Mind you, if the weeks keep slipping by, a week going by in a couple of hours, then it'll be spring before long, won't it? And that'll be something to look forward to. St. David's Day, tulips, daffodils. Ah, wonderful. Deep joy. Now then, isn't it? Haven't you? Did they? Ah, or is it? There we are. Yeah, we're going to be welcoming in Hump Day, the middle of the working week, as it used to be. Doesn't hold so true now these days because we all work really odd hours and odd days, don't we? But thank you all for joining me. I'm verging on being orgasmic with the joy and pleasure of seeing you and having your company. Normal rules apply, darlings. You can send me a voice note. You all know the number by now. The only person who doesn't know the number is me. I haven't got a clue what it is. So, yeah, send me a voice note. Now then, you might spot the Hedgehog of Truth. This is I narrowly averted a hiccup there. Honestly, the path of the professional live broadcaster is littered with potential stumbling blocks, darlings. The Hedgehog of Truth is here with me tonight, and that means that if you would like to ask me any question that you care to name, anything at all, I will place my hand upon the Hedgehog of Truth, thus connecting myself to his indisputable powers, and that will force me to answer your question fully and honestly. Just use the hashtag HOT, H-O-T, and then I'll know that it's a Hedgehog of Truth question. And you can do that in the comments or by a text or email or messenger pigeon or anything you like, really. So, yeah, last night was different, wasn't it? I woke up thinking it was all an anxiety dream. Imagine my surprise, darlings, to find out it all actually happened. My flabber had seldom been so gasted. And, you saw quite a lot of my flabber last night, didn't you? Now, not unsurprisingly, last night was demonetized, as you would expect, but I don't care. It was a jolly good laugh, and I needed a jolly good laugh. And the universe and the FSM, in his noodly goodness, saw fit to shower down blessings upon me this morning, darlings. Oh, yeah. He blessed me by enabling me to recover the audio from all of yesterday's footage, Nicki Minaj. So that is all rescued. You got a daily diary, which some of you have watched. And the other bit of splendid news is that Mr. Stephen Parry, who apparently is omniscient, he was quite correct. my lovely neighbours, Nikki, Nunu and Chris, spotted that my parcel had been carelessly and callously abandoned in the middle of the pavement and very kindly took it in for me. So I can confirm that my steamer of triumphant joy is in pride of place, where it's in its proper place. And I will be filming it tomorrow and cooking some of tomorrow's lunch on it, darlings. And I'm calling it because I haven't named it yet. I might include that in tomorrow's video, ask you for your suggestions for a name. But it is a thing of enormous splendor and magnificence. I adore it. I've figured out how it works and everything. It's actually a lot simpler than I thought. And it's going to be a jolly useful addition to the kitchen, darlings. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I can feel a new top tier membership perk coming on. Yeah, getting something from the steamer of ultimate joy and magnificence. Now then, I'm going to have a sip of my cheap but inoffensive wine. Well, I'm not going to have a sip. I'll tell you the truth, darlings. I'm going to have a bloody good glug of it. Yeah, I'm going to down about half of that glass in one fluid movement of my drinking arm. And then I'm going to dive in to your comments. Oh, that's a nice broadcasting voice, isn't it? Perhaps I should use this one. Perhaps this one is more suitable for this time of night. Oh, yes. Right. That's enough of the that's enough of the sniffing. Let's get on with the tasting. And then we'll dive into your comments, darlings. Do fire voice notes at me should you feel so inclined. Do stuff in the comments. And hashtag HOT if you would like to ask me a Hedgehog of Truth question to which I am compelled legally and morally to give you a full and honest answer. Yes. Yeah. 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 Stop that. Silly. Get on with your drinking. Oh, God. If you just did stuff instead of talking about that you were going to do, you'd get a lot more done, young man. Well, thank you for the young bit. Cheers, darlings. Your very good health. Bottoms up yours. If your pretzel is easily offended, turn away now. Wine, do your thing. Oh, and it is. And it is, darlings. I'm going to try and rein it in. Oh, absolutely marvellous. Right then, first cab off the rank this evening is the M11, the lovely Emma. Well, good evening, Boaty and Boggs. Your wonderful presence is very welcome. Clothes, however, she says cheekily, are optional. Well, apparently they were last night. Good evening, ladies and jelly spoons, says Peter P. Good evening to you. Hey, says Amy, my side and cheeks are still sore from all the laughing last night. Blimey, sore cheeks. Janice Pretoria says, do we know who won the competition? Now, which competition are we talking about? If it was the one for 6666, I think I won it, didn't I? But somebody else might know. Carol C is with us. Hello, everyone. I'm dressed in PJs and they will be staying on as it's a cold night. It is a cold night, isn't it, darlings? What have you got your heating set to? That's going to be a constant. Yeah, so constants in, right. How's your day been? What have you been eating? I shouldn't need to tell you. You should. By now, you should just be telling me what you've been eating. And what's the other one? I've just said it. Remember it, you fool. Oh, yeah. What is your heating set to? My heating was on 18. It was mighty cold when I walked in, so it's currently on 19.5, and I will drop it back down after the live stream. The chill will have been taken out of the air by then, so I can climb into bed. And I've got a fairly heavy dovet. And if I'm cold in the morning, then I'm cold in the morning. Won't be that cold. Now then. Oh, Matron is here, the Greenwood Evening All. Hi, Tracy, says Peter. Have you recovered from last night? Well, yeah, that is the question, isn't it? Ian Hully is with us. Good evening, you wonderful people. The lovely Trisha is here. Good evening, Boaty, and all in chat. The fabulous, incomparable Andrew Boaty is here. A very good evening. And then he names everybody literally by name. He's good like that, is Andrew. What will Boaty do tonight to top last night's shenanigans? Andrew, I'm not going to try and top last night's shenanigans. Tonight will just be a back to normal me night. The shenanigans happen when Emma is around. She's a bad influence. And I'm not sure that I could cope with her another night like last night so soon afterwards. You know, I think the weekly joint live works very well because I need a bloody week to recover from them. So, whether it's good or bad news, darlings, you can decide. But tonight will be a more low-key, community-based affair. Clothes will be staying on, my loves. And how are you all doing? All I ever seem to say to you is that I'm knackered, but I am knackered. Oh, I have got some news for you. Oh, God. Oh, the Airbnb saga upstairs. Right. I thought they were a team working up there. Jesus. Right. I think the Airbnb will probably open in 2027, darlings. The team working upstairs is one elderly Indian gentleman who, quite frankly, looks on the verge of imminent death. He pops into the kitchen of an evening and begs for food. And he told us today that he's been in hospital for 3 days. I'm not laughing at his misfortune. I'm just laughing at the fact that, 60,000 quid's worth of building work going on up there. And it's one elderly Indian guy wearing traditional Indian dress, which literally looks like a dress. Health and safety apparently isn't a thing. He's wearing open-toed sandals, doing serious work up there. Well, when he's not in hospital. So, there's a lot of work needs doing up there. Our ceiling still hasn't been repaired by the bugs. Nothing's going to happen up there. What a crazy bloody situation. Serious work going on upstairs, and it's one elderly, poor sod. He doesn't look well. Yeah, he was telling us that in hospital for 3 days, paid a taxi, charged him £40 to take him to the hospital. Now, I don't know which hospital he went to, darlings, because Ripley Hospital is about 1,000 yards away from the restaurant, maybe quarter of a mile. Oh, God, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. So I've re-estimated in my mind the time that upstairs is going to be ready. The lights are on up there, so I can kind of see bits through the window. So I can see that in the one room, the ceiling has been completely taken down. You can see straight up to the rafters, and there's no sign of a new ceiling going anywhere near. Oh, God, you have to bloody laugh, don't you? You have to laugh, darlings. Peter P's asking if there's any parcel news, but I've already addressed that. The Equalizer is with us. So Willie Basking is out of the question then, pretty much, Andrew. Captain Mustard is here. Oh, and he's actually here as Captain Mustard rather than Project Nigel. Evening, Mustard. Hello, Romford Ramblers, and a very big hello to you, my lovely hairy friend. Demonetized? No, never. It's an outrage. I tell you, says Andrew. It's no outrage. It was always obviously it was going to be bloody demonetized. We were getting our kit off for God's sake. Yay, steamy hot kitchen action coming our way. It is indeed. Well done, neighbour, says Andrew. Absolutely. I've had to watch Shit in Mighty too many times today, Peter P, says Matron. Hello, Mr. Boaty and the Boat Maniac, says Almost Zen. Chaz Brown is with us and says Boaty and demonetized go together like fish and chips. Well, yeah, undeniably true. I blame you, lot. You're a bad influence. I was never demonetized when nobody watched me. I wonder how many people I had on my very first live stream. That'd be interesting to know, wouldn't it? And I wonder who was on my very first live stream. Again, unsurprisingly, I can't remember it. I've had a drink and been to sleep since then. Good evening, Boaty and gang, says the wonderful DL. Yep, that was an instant Boaty's World classic. That was, Matron, says Peter P. It really was. Boaty is the Dr. Stanley Unwin of the Peak District, says Ian Hully. The new kitchen appliance has to be Steamboaty Willie. Oh, Steamboaty Willie. That's rather good, isn't it? There was no wine-gasm last night, says Emma Lemon. Well, no, I wasn't in the mood for a gasm, was I? I wasn't in the mood. None of that was put on, darlings. I could have cried last night when I started that live stream. I mean, I could have cried when I ended it, but for very different reasons. So thank you all, and thank you, Emma, for cheering me up. 2,600 people viewed last night's live stream, darlings. Oh, a little bit different to the 37 we've got at the moment, but this is back to normal inner scrotum communal togetherness, which I love and value, like a much loved and valued thing. And it's already low tide at Glass Bay, so replenishment are in order, I feel. And then in a few minutes, at about the 20 past mark, I will start on the voice notes. By order of the what's it, face? Oh, food, darling, food. Well, I've been exceptionally busy today. What with sorting all of that audio and then doing what turned out to be quite a complicated edit. The daily diary, yesterday's daily diary, was more of a thing than I envisaged it being. Best part of 50 minutes long, wasn't it? Oh, which bottle was which now? I should have put it in the freezer and I forgot. Never mind, we'll do it there. There we are. Oh, excuse me. Well, welcome to the Maiden Weinberg. Yeah, I was kind of busy today, so I had a bit of a jump up the larder door. I had a chicken madry that had been knocking about in the freezer for a while with some frozen oven chips. I mean, I didn't eat them frozen. I put them in the oven and cooked them, darlings, just because it was easy and I want to defrost my freezers. So I'm trying to run them down a bit. They could both do with being defrosted, to be honest. And it's so much easier when they're a bit emptier, isn't it? So that was lunch today. Supper tonight is staff curry with rice and roti. No surprise there. Lunch tomorrow is going to be a midweek mini roast, is the only way I can think of saying it. Well, there is going to be some roast stuff. Now, this is subject to change. So, I reserve the right to alter the menu for tomorrow's lunch, but it's definitely going to be garlic and mustard marinated chicken because I've got some freshly made this evening, darlings. Oh God, that fridge door has got a time delay on it. How does that work? I really got. So anyway, freshly made tonight, darlings. That is chicken marinated in yogurt and garlic and mustard and all sorts of other wonderful things. So I'm going to have some of that. I'm going to make either 2 small stuffing balls or 1 big stuffing ball. I haven't decided which yet. I thought I might go for 1 big one, but there's going to be stuffing, darlings. That's the point. There is going to be roast shallot, and it's my last Italian shallot. So that's going to need replenishment for next Sunday. There's going to be fresh green beans, which are the ones left over from my Sunday beef, but they're jolly good examples of the breed. Look at that. Isn't that a splendid bean? Marvellous. So yeah, I'll have them. And I've got these baby potatoes, which have kind of seen better days. They've been knocking about in the veg drawer in the fridge for quite a while. So yeah, so I thought, right, at the moment, the thinking is, change is possible, darlings. So the chicken, the beans, they're definite. The stuffing, that's a definite. The roast shallot is definite. And then I think I might just do the baby potatoes. I might use the new, as yet unnamed steamer, although I did like Steam Boaty Willie. So yeah, I might use the steamer to just simply steam the potatoes and the green bean. Wait until you see it, darlings. It's got different compartments, and obviously you'll remember this is the eBay one, not the one from the auction house, and it is in much better condition, and it genuinely was the same price. You can go on eBay and check. Why would I lie to you? And it's a splendid thing. It's quite clever. It's got different compartments and they operate independently. But the clever bit about it is they're on a digital timer. So I'm pretty sure this is how it works. I'll find out exactly tomorrow. So let's say I've got my green beans in the big compartment at the back, and I've got potatoes in 1 or 2 of the smaller compartments at the front. You fill it with water because, steamers need water, isn't it? Don't they? Haven't you? Well, yeah. But what am I trying to say? Oh, yeah, right. So, but this is the clever bit, I think. So I think this is how it works. So if I put those baby new potatoes in, I'm going to want to steam them for 20 minutes, right? If I put the beans in, I'm going to want to steam them for 5 minutes, something like that. So I'll program the beans bit to 20 minutes. I'll program the beans bit to 5 minutes, twat. The potatoes bit to 20 minutes, but then it works it so that they finish at exactly the same time. So the beans will kick in 5 minutes before the potatoes are due to finish. So it'll make sure that whatever you've got in there all finishes at the same time. And then it's got an automatic keep warm feature on it. So yeah, and it just looks really good. I've got a good eye for some things. And the reason I wanted that steamer when I fell in love with it in that auction house, I didn't even know it was a steamer. I didn't know what it did if you cast your minds back. It's on video. I just thought that looks dead right for the kitchen. It looks a bit retro. It looks a bit like it was top of the range once, but obviously old school now. A bit like my Sony clock radio, and I need to do a video on that, don't I? I haven't properly introduced you to that. You had a fleeting glimpse. But also, it's just the right shape, size, and height for the space there on the counter. It couldn't be more perfect. So fair play to me for spotting that. But like I said, it's going to turn out to be a useful thing that I will use all the time. And of course, uh, I must point out that the steamer, as you all know, was very kindly funded by the lovely Lee. So that makes it a community steamer. So I am honor bound to use it for the benefit of the community. So if you all come round for Momo, I've got additional Momo cooking capacity now, haven't I? Isn't it? Didn't you? So yeah, that's just all a good thing, really. Right, I think it's time I got into some voice messages because we've got a few. So let me. Who was for? Here we are. Here we are. Um, right, is this from today? I think so.
Good evening, Mr. Boaty. Did you manage to find your steamer today, sir? And with a different show today, then?
Just a
You
bit.
got more. You got more outfits on today, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot less flesh.
Still had the steak, sir,
Oh, good man.
with new potatoes and peas.
Oh,
Hope you have
no,
a good evening tonight, sir.
no chips. Well done, you.
I noticed you managed to fix the video as well, sir. How long did it take you to do that? Because yesterday you said the microphones weren't connected. I've got to say, what a marvellous video it was with you and the captain.
Oh, thank
today.
you.
I watched.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Also, when you covering the hedgehog's ears, what did you think of Emma's tits last night? You managed to see when she was flashing her bra off when you got the things there. And you got to your count, 666.
I'm a gentleman.
Or whatever it was there.
If nothing else, I'm a gentleman. I averted my eyes.
Call your steamer hot stuff, sir. That could be a name for the steamer, couldn't it? Hot
Looking
stuff.
for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. I want some hot stuff, baby, tonight. I want some hot stuff, baby, this evening. Bloody hell. And then Mr. Paddy has sent me a picture of his current temperature. Is that in your house? 7 degrees? That can't be right. Oh, hang on. Maybe that's outside. There's a picture of a house and it says 19.6. That's a bit more reasonable. It can't be 7 degrees. You'd be freezing to death. Although he says the temperature of my property without the heating on now. 7 degrees. Well, in the words of Jimmy Quinn, and where is Jimmy, by the way? Jimmy's always here. In the words of Jimmy Quinn, put the bloody heating on. Oh, excuse me. Right, couple more for you.
Do you both think this Area 51 is a load of rubbish? I was watching it yesterday. That really made me mind up.
Oh, well, there we are. There we are. Area 51. What do we think about that? What do we think about that? I'm kind of with you, mate. I can't make my mind up either. So, I think it's one of the great imponderables. I make a conscious decision not to think about the things that I can't categorically sort out in my head. If they're an imponderable, I don't bother pondering them. I just kind of, I just concentrate on, you know what they say, that one of the keys to happiness is to control the things that are or should be within your control. And those things that are just always going to be out of your control, don't sweat them. And I kind of think that's good advice. I'm glad that Mr. Parry enjoyed the video today, and I hope that some of you guys did too. I quite enjoyed editing it actually. Um, I went back to some old ways and started putting some music back into them. I think music can work well, and I really enjoy. And maybe this is something that I need to make time for. I enjoy making my own music mixes. I pay a subscription to a particular company, so I have the license to use particular tracks. Um, but what I tend to do, or what I used to do, haven't done it for a while. And I haven't done it with the new editing equipment, which would make it a lot more interesting, is to try and make my own like white label mixes of mixing some stuff together, like the play out on the video tonight. It was a long video. So if you didn't make it to the end of a 15-minute video, then I don't blame you in the least. But um, I thought, well, it was a beautiful day. I wasn't going to include Nicki Minaj of driving to and home from the yard last night because I've done that week in, week out for 2 years. And before I used to try and change it up a bit. I'd use old radio recordings or a bit of comedy played over the Nicki Minaj. Um, and I thought maybe I should go back to doing that because it was such a beautiful day that I kind of wanted to include the Nicki Minaj because it was beautiful. Unlikely we'll get another day like that this year or this season. That's probably won't get a day like that with those cloudless blue skies and amazing scenery. Probably won't get that until spring now. We might, but if you had to place a bet, that's probably the end of it. So I wanted to get it up there. But I wasn't in the mood to do any commentary because I was hanging out of my arse on Monday morning. I often am these days. I'm just so constantly up against the tiredness barrier. And I thought, I'll go back and use one of my old mixes. So the opening and the trip there, I used my old, it's a track from my music people. And I just did a massive multiple overdub with me warbling away about Mr. George Roger Boaty. And I like that. I'm very fond of that. And then the one coming home, again, I love that one as well. And it's basically the same piece, but with an intro of Gregorian chanting, which I really like. So it's a three-way mix, that one. It's that same track, which is one of the two long-term themes to the channel. And I need to start bringing it back a bit more. And that's overlaid with Gregorian chanting and a drum and bass track. And I quite like that as well. Sorry, darlings, I'm a bit coffee tonight, aren't I? I'm still all snotty, and maybe that's just the way the life is going to be from now on. Constantly laundering handkerchiefs. Oh well, could be a lot worse. So what was I saying? The music stuff. So I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed putting it in. I like editing it so it fits with the music, and I need to do more of those mixes. be a bit more adventurous. See what I can come up with. And tomorrow's video, darlings, tomorrow's video is going to be the new format for the lunch videos. Now I've recovered the audio, it's going to be the new format for the lunch videos. And the new Mustard and Boaty do lunch videos are going to be me and Captain Mustard going out, eating somewhere, and doing a proper restaurant review. Because like I said the other nights, those channels do really well. So, you know, maybe I can pick up some views and, or we can. And it's a way of us still having our lunch together, having the silly chat, having that shared time, getting some footage out of out of it and all of that sort of thing. And but doing it in our own way, you know. And I'm quite excited about that. I think that could have some limited legs. Getting my head around how to film it, getting my head around a bit of a format for it. Now, yesterday's is going to be really rough and ready, as you'd expect. We were, you know, a bit rushed, a bit stressed, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's a first attempt at that sort of thing. But I can genuinely see the potential with it. And we came up with a couple of nuggets. So it's going to be different to caravan lunches. The caravan lunches were a fly on the wall, unedited, unredacted kind of thing. This isn't. This is going to be, it's intended to be a genuine food review of the place that we go to. But with a bit of the drive in there, a bit of the driving back, a bit of the nonsense while we're doing it. But we're genuinely going to try to review the food, which is difficult when Mustard insists on giving each individual slice of tomato a score out of 10, and then each individual piece of cucumber and pickled red cabbage a slice. But we did come up with some things that I can see them working going forward, and coming up with a kind of format for the scoring. So that's the intention. It's going to be some of the best bits of Mustard and Boaty do lunch, the driving there, the driving back, the banter, hate that word, the nonsense that we talk over lunch itself, but with a genuine review in the middle of it. Now, in this video, we went to Istanbul. It's quite interesting, actually, that, and this won't fully come out in the video. Sorry, loves, I've got a real frog in the throat tonight. As Emma said last night, it's a live stream cough. You're fine all night. You do a live stream and suddenly you're all coughy and phlegmy and whatnot. But yeah, it was quite weird. So we went in there, filming outside, going in with a camera on the gimbal. We're both microphoned up, getting a bit of this, that, and the other. And they clocked that something was on, and they were talking amongst themselves in a language that neither of us understood. And we got massive portions of the food, loads more than we normally get. We've eaten in Istanbul, we've eaten inside before on more than one occasion, but we got these massive portions because we were, you know, I don't know what they were saying, we couldn't understand it, but it's obviously something like they're doing a food review, these guys. It must be TikTok or Facebook or whatever. So we got these much bigger portions than normal. Now, it's unfortunate that they gave Mustard a completely different dish to the one that he ordered, but it was a large portion of it. And they didn't serve it in the way that they normally do. So that mine was kind of ruined a bit, because instead of serving the sauce separately as they normally do, they drenched it in this bloody sauce and made half of it inedible. But it was kind of sweet that they got, don't worry, they got a massive score. You know, we've enjoyed so many days of eating from Istanbul that and they genuinely got a very well. I won't tell you what they scored on our scoring system, but they did very well. They've set a high bar. But moving forward, we're going to do every place on the Milkston Road where you can sit and eat in, most of which we've never been to before. And when we've exhausted the Milkston Road, we'll go elsewhere. And as you'll see in the video tomorrow, we're going to do places like McDonald's as well. So nowhere will be safe from the Mustard and Boaty food review thing. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be, I'll do my best to edit it together and to make it, reasonably okay. In terms of a Mustard and Boaty lunch video, then it'll be all right. In terms of a food review, it's going to be a bit shit. But I'm hoping that because it's going to be a bit quirky and a bit different to any other of the food reviewers out there, the fact that there's two of us, the fact that there's a bit of back and forth and agreement and disagreement and a whole lot of nonsense, I'm hoping that if I make it seem like a proper thing in the title, I'm hoping it'll get some views. The hundreds of thousands of people who watch food reviews will watch it and think, oh, well, this is a bit different. And maybe we'll get, maybe the lunch videos from Monday will become one of the better performing videos rather than the worst performing videos, which is what they always have been. But we'll see. It's another thing to try. Me and Mustard, amazingly, we've still got plans for the future. We haven't given up on anything at all. We've still got all sorts of ideas and all sorts of plans. So yeah, there's going to be more stuff. We'll make something work at some point. I think we reached the conclusion on Monday that we need to be individually more successful in order for the two of us together to be successful. But as long as we're having fun, that's all that counts. Right, let's get back to some comments, shall we? Oh, Chaz Brown is with us. Good evening, Boaty, and all in the house. Almost then says, I have to say, after watching Boaty's sauteed potatoes video, I don't think I've ever seen a more zen cooking video. Everything from cutting to flipping, plating, and so on. It was a meditative experience. Oh, that's very kind. Gosh, everybody should be that zen in the kitchen. They go on. Well, thank you. As I said in your comment on the video, that is a compliment I've never received before, and it's very unexpected, but very welcome. Andrew says, in response to Emma, saying that there was no wine-gasm, he says there were other type of gasms last night, I think, Emma. Matron's having a giggle at me saying if your pretzel is easily offended. Andy Donlan is back with us. Hi, Mr. Boaty and friends. Hello to you. Captain Mustard says, I keep hearing a horn. Is that here, or is someone jeffing about with my car? It's not here, Mustard. It must be your car. If your horn is making a noise, says Emma, you should probably see a doctor. Pocahontas 100 is here. Hi-ho, Boaty and all in chat. How was your day? Well, we hope yours was good, Pocahontas. The honking nebs. There is, right, in the Facebook group, I put a complete list of all of the characters that appeared in Allo Allo. So if you want to take a look at them and see if you fancy being one of them for the Christmas virtual panto, then you can do so. Some of the positions have been taken. I'm Rene, obviously. I can't remember all of the other ones. Uh, Emma is Mimi LeBlanc. I forgot that she was a replacement for the one that came before, whose name I can't remember. But Mimi LeBlanc, she wasn't there from the beginning. There used to be another short-ass one there beforehand. Matron is Madame Fanny. Caroline has accepted the role of Yvette Carte Blanche. Oh, that's the other thing. I found out all of their surnames as well as their first names. I never knew that Yvette's surname was Carte Blanche, but I mean, it's very appropriate, isn't it? I quite enjoyed myself doing some low research today. God, what's happening with my hair? I look like a teddy boy. It'll all be gone soon, darlings. It'll all be gone in a couple of weeks. Oh, I'm looking forward to a couple of weeks. I'm already making plans for it. I'm making plans about food, darlings. I'm planning my emergency food for the hotel. And the last time I planned emergency food was in Llandudno, and I didn't actually eat it because we did a live stream until about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was absolutely arsehole. I ate my emergency food for lunch the next day. But if I hadn't have had it, you know I would have wanted it. That's the point of emergency food. So yeah, have a look in the Facebook groups, in the Facebook group. Have a look at the cast list. There are loads of positions available. And you can just say, yeah, I'll be. Somebody needs to say who's, because I couldn't remember who had. I remember that obviously Emma is Mimi. I remember that Matron is Madame Fanny. I can't remember all of the other ones. Have we got an Officer Crabtree? Yeah. Anyway, it's all in there. You can have a look at it. Oh, Pingu Concord is with us. Gratuitous gratifications granted to you, most reverend of boats. Hello, Pingu. It's never less than a joy to have your company. Honk if you required another Boaty move strip. Let's not do that again. Let's not do that again. Ian Hully says, today I've been mostly doing sod 22 degrees and face stuffing with beef hot pot. No heating required here down south, says Pingu. Or indeed further south where I am, Pingu, says Andrew. Pingu says, well, I broke a mirror and then later on got a puncture. Another 7 years of bad luck for me. Oh, Jimmy F500. I haven't been around for the past few days. We noticed, my dear chap. Got some really nasty stomach bug. I'm sure the resident bowel movement expert will know all about this. Bloody horrible. Oh, hope you're doing all right now. That fridge door needs a spot of oil again. It certainly does. Boaty's stuffing his balls, says Ian Hully. I will be. Captain Mustard says the Nicki Minaj thing has got to stop. I agree, Mustard, says Emma. It's really annoying. And you know, I'm just going to do it all the more. I mean, it annoyed me when I did it by accident because I had no idea who Nicki Minaj was. But now that I know that it really annoys you, obviously I'm going to keep on doing it, aren't I? We can all be annoyed together. A few people have commented on the bit in the video where Mustard just said, look, the Nicki Minaj and the winegasm thing, they've got to stop. I'll get bored of them eventually, but the more you complain about them, then the more the devil in me is going to keep them going. You know what I'm like. Oh, dear. And yeah, as somebody pointed out, Mustard is just jealous because you don't get beergasms. And Peter P's asking him if beergasms are a thing. Thank you, Mustard, says Matron. I loved you telling him off for that in Boaty's video today. Oh, a Hedgehog of Truth question from Pingu Concord. Right, I shall place my hand on the Hedgehog of Truth. Here we go. Who did you enjoy the most as a podgering partner? Mrs. Boaty, Chinese Madam, or the hairy Paddington? Really, Pingu? Okay, well, I'm holding the hedgehog. Oh, sorry, hedgehog. I didn't mean to lift you off your feet there. Okay, well, I have to answer that completely honestly. So, the honest answer to that is I've never podgered the hairy Paddington, obviously. So it comes down to Mrs. Boaty or Chinese Madam, and the honest answer is Mrs. Boaty. Mrs. Boaty and I had some rather, yeah. Well, I don't need to go into details, do I? But the honest answer to that is Mrs. Boaty, the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty. Question answered. Hedgehog released. I dreamt there was a flashing flesh about last night, says Jimmy at 500. Can't be right. No, it can't be. Andrew is asking, what about the Liverpudlian lady? Peter P is saying, I'd add the Ice Maiden to that question. Oh, it wasn't a dream then, Jimmy at 500, says Andrew. Mustard says, glad he left that bit in. He agreed that the Nicki Minaj lady looks like a really annoying person too. I do agree. Or Bernard, says Pingu. Well, I don't have to answer that honestly now, do I? Because that's not a hashtag hot question. And I'm glad I don't have to answer that because, because I would have to tell the truth about the people that have been mentioned. What about the two sisters? Do they rate a mention? Well, I don't have to answer them. The mother was probably more memorable. If you want to know the answers to stuff like that, then put it in your own hashtag HOT question. Otherwise, I'm not going there because I don't have to. If you make it a hashtag HOT, I have to, but otherwise I don't. So, there was that horn again, says Mustard. Well, I haven't heard anything. That was defo on Boaty's end. Where? I haven't heard a single horn. Don't forget to hit the like, good people, says Pocahontas 100. Mr. Stephen Parry with the hard-hitting questions, says Andrew and Matron. Oh, an HOT question from Emma. The hand is back on the Hedgehog of Truth. If you had to go a week without any technology, quality food, a poo, a glass of wine, or a cigarette, which would you miss the most and why? Which of those would I miss the most? Okay, my honest answer to that, my Hedgehog of Truth, I'm holding him. My honest answer would be, and I kind of don't want to admit this, quality food, a poo, technology, glass of wine, cigarette, which would I miss the most? The most difficult to go without, if I'm honest, and I'm kind of ashamed of this, it would be technology. I think. Yeah, it would. It would absolutely be technology. I can release now. It's become a massive part of my life. There was a time when, well, actually, yeah, it's going to be technology because, not having a poo for a week, well, it could be uncomfortable, of course, but I'd be all right with that. Going without a fag for a week, well, that wouldn't be easy. Quality food, I could manage a week of eating shit. I could, yeah, I could manage a week of going back to being a kid and eating frozen chips and sausage and beans and all of that. That wouldn't be a problem. What else was there? A glass of wine. I could easily do without a glass of wine. I would just have vodka and tonic instead. So, yeah, let's just make sure I'm giving you the right answer. Quality food, a week without quality food, yeah, no problem. Not a problem. A week without a poo, not a problem as long as I don't become ill or in pain. A glass of wine, not a problem. Vodka and tonic, or even a beer if push came to shove, although I don't like beer. A cigarette would be, that would be difficult. That would be difficult. You know, a long haul 24-hour flight is difficult enough. A week would be 7 times more difficult. But technology would be the one that I would miss the most because so much of my life is tied up with it now. My social life, my friendships, um, everything is tied up with technology, isn't it? What do I do? I film videos, I edit videos, I upload videos, I do live stream, I do social media. That would definitely be the one that I would miss most. That's an inquisitive mind indeed. Must be all that leisure time at the Leisure Peninsula. Oh, another hot question. How much fun did you have with Wilma and her harness? I love Wilma. Wilma is a lovely dog. Um, she's um, she's incredibly friendly. She's good natured. She's really good natured. Uh, I miss having a dog. I've been around dogs all of my life. This time post divorce has been the only time in my life that a dog hasn't been involved, and I miss it dreadfully. Wilma is a lovely dog, and I've had all the fun in the world with her. Leaving aside the pottery harness bit, she's a cracking dog, and I've loved to see. Obviously, I only get to see her for a bit on a Monday, but I'm loving to see the fact that she's feeling safe. She's beginning to exhibit because she's a rescue dog at the end of the day, and it's amazing. It's heartwarming to see that so soon she's learned to become. She's learned to be comfortable. She's learned to trust. Um, I can only speak from my own interaction with her. She was always friendly, but now then immediately she shows me her underbelly, and leaving all silly jokes aside, that's a massive thing for a dog because if a dog will roll over and show you the underbelly, and do the paw thing over your arm so that you scratch them, that's a massive thing for a dog because they're allowing themselves to be vulnerable. And it's their way of showing you that they absolutely trust you, they've accepted you. Um, and some dogs will kind of do that automatically because they've never been given a reason not to. But with a rescue dog, you can bet your bottom dollar they've been given a reason not to trust. Um, and Wilma certainly didn't initially, and now she does. So that's brilliant to see because, that's a lovely, innocent, good natured creature having a better quality of life. Her doggy mind is in a better place, and that's wonderful. And I had a great time with her on Monday because we went on a walk to the shops and all of that. And you don't know what her life was like before she was in the rescue centre, but you know what her life was like in the rescue centre. And of course, they're wonderful people and they look after their animals incredibly well and with love and care and all of that. But just seeing Wilma out and about and being given the time to sniff to her heart's content, to explore, um, that was lovely. And one of my favourite moments before that was to see her learning that it's okay to have fun, that she can have a stick thrown, she can run after it. You can do the tuggy, growly, pretend fighty bit. And I love that. It's seeing a dog. The same goes with humans or with any creature, but it's seeing something that has had a squashed in life, gradually expanding to have a full life again. And as as somebody who loves dogs, loves all animals, then there's no greater joy than that. It was yeah, it was. What was the original question again? Oh yeah, how much fun did you have? I had all the fun in the world. It was amazing. I could have spent the I would have gladly spent the whole day walking her and watching her explore and discover and feeling safe and feeling happy. The bit I really loved as well was when we put her in the car because we were going to be doing loud work, and Mustard didn't want her to be startled by the loud noise. And Mustard kind of said, I think this was in the video. The last bit certainly was. And Mustard said she's fine being in the car. She'll just settle down, go to sleep. And well, she will, of course she will, because she's a rescue dog. That's what she's used to. She's used to being shoved in a kennel and having nothing to do other than go to sleep. So putting her in a car, it's like putting her back in the kennel in the rescue centre. She'll be fine with it, but is it what she really wants? Almost certainly not. Um, and I loved that bit when we let her out of the car and she was just happy to be out. And she went out and had a snooze in the sunlight, which shows that she's happy to sleep. But it's so much better when she does it on her terms, in her place. And she could have a sniff around and, she's not being excluded, she's not being confined. I love that. I love just seeing her bodily demeanor when she was out of the car, and I just love that. I love that. So how much fun did I have? All the fun in the world. A creature that had presumably and definitely in the rescue centre not the best life is suddenly living her best life. Like I said to her the very first time I met her, and said, you've fallen on your feet, because I know Mustard. I know he's a dog lover, so I knew he was going to be an amazing owner. The girls, Mustard's daughters, all kids love dogs, of course, and his daughters are just lovely. They really wanted a dog. They effectively chose her, I think. So they were always going to be amazing with her. And I knew the dog had just fallen on its feet. And that is just the joy. The only little thing is that I'm a little bit jealous, because I would love a dog in my life, but I know it wouldn't be fair. The landlord and I, we've been long enough together now that I know that when I had a cat lodging here, it was never a problem. If I wanted a dog, I could have a dog, but it just wouldn't be fair, and I won't do that. So I'm a little bit jealous, but I get to hang out with the dog on Mondays, so that's nice. But that's the overriding thing, that dog has been blessed with a really good time for the rest of her life, and is that not a joyful thing? I would say it is. Jimmy F500 says, that Roger Boaty theme tune is good. I like it. More of that, please, Boaty. What, more of exactly the same, or try and do some other similar stuff? Pound the box time, Boaty, says Andrew. And it is time to pound the box. And then before we know it, we've only just started and it's going to be time to go. How quickly has that hour flown by? But I really mustn't be late, and neither must you guys. I'm sure we're all knackered. Certainly after last night. And I've got a busy old day of trying to edit I'm going to make a bit of effort with the food review video. There's the pound. I can only work with what I've got to work with, and I already know that it's a long way from perfect. But I think if I do it right, it could be a good jumping off point for what might become a good thing. So here we are. Oh, don't obscure the lady from Pitcall. And the box has been pounded, and it's feeling weighty. It's feeling weighty. It's going to be such an exciting moment when and if that box becomes full and I can't pound it anymore. I can't get the pound in. It probably won't happen this time, will it? Because I imagine that my birthday in January is going to come around before the box gets full, but we will see. We will see. Emma says, Ian, quality food you can do without all the other. Quality food you can do without all the others, especially the brown one. He needs to add a pound every time he says Nicki Minaj, says Matron. Gosh, I couldn't live without going to Browntown several times a day. Well, I've got strange toilet syndrome. When I was a kid, I often went a week. If I had to go to my grandparents for a week, then I wouldn't go to the loo, even as an adult. Until that cataclysmic day in Malta, if I went to a hotel, I wouldn't go to the loo. But then, joking apart, I don't eat much. So I imagine I could easily go 3, 4, 5 days without heading down to Browntown without it being a problem, because I know I'm a fat bloke, but I genuinely don't eat that much. So Boaty, says Pingu, why hasn't the Hedgehog of Truth got an evening tipple? Well, you know, he knows where the wine stand is. I've taken him around the house. He knows where the wine fridge is. The booze stand, the wine fridge, there's booze around. If he wants it, he can help himself. Let's ask the restaurant's permission next time, though, says Mustard. Well, that's probably a reasonable idea. To be fair, I did ask Istanbul's permission before when I tried to film it when we were doing a joint lunch there with, I think it was with Liz and Johnny. And I didn't have microphones then, long time ago, so it didn't work. But technically, I did have permission to film in Istanbul. But yeah, it's probably a good idea to ask permission from the outset next time, not because we need permission, but because if we ask them and tell them what we're doing, and they know what we're doing, they might give us the meal for nothing. Although it's your turn to pay next time, so that's not so much of an issue. Should you ask permission? I mean, a restaurant is a public place. I bet the other channels don't ask permission. But yeah, probably, yeah, maybe it would be better if we did, just a casual, don't have to go into details, but oh yeah, we're doing a YouTube thing. Do you mind if we film inside the restaurant? I did ask for permission. Well, I set it all up in advance when we did the Mustard and Boaty do lunch with JM on Cars, and they gave us a whole area to ourselves so that we wouldn't have any background noise. Good job, because I didn't have microphones then. But yeah, we can do that. I've got a cold coming on, says Emma. Must have caught a chill last night. Emma, says the Equalizer, I'm a big fan of yours now. I subbed to your channel yesterday and watched 10 of your videos this morning. Mr. Parry says, you must excuse me if I offended you in any way, Emma. Ask Jason. It's not like me to upset Mrs. Tits. We all love Emma. It doesn't help when your clothes fall off, Emma, says Andrew. Peter P says, Carol Ann's fell off again in her latest video. Yeah. Is this a thing now, says Andrew, on videos with people's clothes falling off? Emma says, your lunch reviews will work well with guests too. So if you do a lunch with, right, yeah. And Emma says, yeah, I've got a cold, I think, itchy and coffee throat tonight. Yeah, me too. Oh, right. Emma is announcing that she's going to be doing a live stream on her channel on a Wednesday from 10 till 11. There we are. Mr. Parry, I'm not upset or offended, says Emma. Don't worry. However, I did think Mr. B coped very well with the overwhelming sights last night. And can I say what a good sport he was? Well, so were you. Emma, goes on the Equalizer, I watched you going on the skylift, getting your bike, going to the dentist, painting the wall, buying the paint for the daughter's bedroom, a lot more. I'm a big fan now. We cannot wait to see you live at Jason's home with you both online together, says Mr. Paddy, on camera. Yeah, that's going to happen. Oh, Simone is with us. Hello, I'm shattered. I think we all are. I think Mustard would make a great Officer Crabtree, says Pingu. He might, actually. He might. Emma, if you go live on Wednesday, you're going to have Mr. Boaty on as your guest mate. No, because I will be at work. The reason that these live streams happen so late is because I run a restaurant. So the live streams can't happen until I get home, except that I am going to do a live from the restaurant with all the staff, and that's going to be coming very soon. Andrew's got a dash, got to take his brother to the doctors. Oh, good luck with that, mate. Good luck with that. Who would I be in Hello then, says Simone. And Emma says, who would you like to be? Have a look at the cast list. Oh, right. Sorted. Simone is going to be Michelle of the Resistance. Boo iPhone, says Andrew. Don't know what that means. Gigafast says, I like your channel, Boaty. You don't beg people to send you stuff off Amazon, etc. For many, it's no better than begging. Thank you for not being one of those parasites. Oh gosh, that's a bit. Well, there we are. Simone says, Boaty, do you remember your first codger I do. I remember it vividly. Vividly. And Emma says, did you do the side shuffle and ram back then too? No, that came on later. That came on later. My first podger, well, too late to go into it now. And it wouldn't exactly cover me with glory. But if you're interested, then on one of the other nights, ask me to tell you about it with the hashtag HOT, and I will tell you the exact details. It really will not cover me in glory. Well, in fact, quite the opposite. It'll be very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Who was Herr Flick's bit of stuff, says Simone? Helga, says Peter P. Helga was hot, says Simone. She was. We must make sure we pack the hedgehog for our night of shenanigans and haircuts. Yes, absolutely. Another HOT question from Pinger. Who would you rather be stranded on a crippled cruise ship with for 3 months? The Damp Jesus, Boatylicious Emma, or Sir Joseph of Lloyd? Oh, God, that's impossible. The honest answer is I would be happy with any of them. But I couldn't pick an absolute favourite. God, I've got to be honest, haven't I? I'll keep hold of the hedgehog. Let me think about that for a puff. Emma, Mustard, or Joseph? Well, I'd be happy with any of them. But if I had to pick a favourite, it wouldn't be Joseph. Emma or Mustard? Oh, God. God. I don't know. My mind's going into really weird places. Right. When it comes to being mates and having fun, then either would be great. I'm just thinking, how long is this crippled thing? Oh, it's 3 months. You know, the question of, oh, God. Oh, this is so awkward. Right, crippled cruise ship. So there's going to be loads of other people on there. Oh, that's a really awkward. I can't really pick between them. I would probably toss a coin because either would be great. And I'm trying to answer this honestly, so I'm trying to factor other things in, and that makes it difficult. So, like, if Mustard was there, then is he there on his own? In which case, if I pick him, he's got to be away from his daughters for 3 months. Or is he there with his wife and daughters? In which case, I wouldn't see all that much of him. So, if he's there with his wife and daughters, I'd choose Emma. But if he's there on his own, I would probably choose him. Because he'd need company as well, being stuck away from his wife. And that's a really tricky one, but that's my answer to that. You can trust Uncle Bunghole. Out of interest, does the rescue home check on the dog or cat, how they're getting on? That individual one, I don't know, Jimmy, but when I adopted a rescue dog, yes, they did. Hedgehog of Truth, says Emma. If I were If it were to be made illegal for me to wear leggings, what on earth would I wear instead? Tracksuit bottoms, Emma, or a dress or jeans or whatever suited you. That's an easy one. Simone says, my rescue cat has finally allowed me to stick my face in a belly fur and blow raspberries. Well, there you are, you see, that's a thing. Pinger's asking Emma if she'll go vertical, because that'd be a good way of increasing her subs and viewers. Trisha's off to sleep. Say goodnight, darlings. We do need to go. We do need to go. And I'm just going to whiz through these comments, darlings. I apologize, but it is that time. Right, that's it. We've got a couple of voice notes to that we've been blessed with, and then we can say good night. We've got oh yeah, it was 19.6 in Mr. Paddy's home, and we've got a voice note from Emma.
Tracksuit bottoms? You think I should wear tracksuit bottoms instead of my leggings? Don't you realise how terrible big bottoms look in tracksuit bottoms?
They look worse in leggings. Right. The beige bomber. I love that. I love the beige bomber. I love Joseph. I would very happily be stuck on a cruise ship with Joseph for 3 months. I honestly would. That time Joseph came here to Windy Bum, I was gutted to have to go to work. I tried to forget all about it. The time just flew. And this time has flown as well, darling. So it is time to say good night. Oh, it's 22 minutes past midnight. My goodness gracious me. Thank you for your this hair. It'll be gone soon. Okay. Thank you for your company tonight. Thank you, everybody involved for last night, including Emma and Matron, of course. Mostly Emma. Emma was amazing last night. It was, it was a hoot. It was a hoot. Don't forget to, I'll stick that in the thing. So thank you to everybody for turning up again tonight. Sorry, it's just me on my own, and you didn't get any boobage. You're probably glad not to get any moobage. And I apologize to anybody who was upset by the state of my moobs last night. Now then, I've got a message to play you, if I can remember the right one.
Thank you for joining Mr. Boaty live from the Peak District. If you've been affected by anything in this program, phone the Samaritans. We will see you back here tomorrow night. Thank you and good night.
Perfect advice from Sean there. So, from Sean, from Emma, from Matron, and from everybody in the community, and Captain Mustard, of course, and the Hedgehog of Truth, thank you for watching, and thank you for watching today's video, if you did, and thank you for hopefully watching tomorrow's first Mustard and Boaty do the Milkston Road. Or I don't even know what it's going to be called yet. I don't even know what it's... Oh, I'll sort that out tomorrow. But thank you for watching tomorrow's video if you do. And if you're able to, I would be so pleased if you join me again tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Live, 11 o'clock. You might even have a live before that from Emma at 10 o'clock, or maybe that'll be next week or whatever. I don't know. But have a safe and peaceful night, each and every one of you. Stay safe, stay warm, and I wish you all a joyful day ahead. or a day with bits of joy in it anywhere. And if you see a bit of joy, grab it. Grab it with both hands and rub it together and smear it over your nipples and just enjoy the sensation, basically. And all the love in the world from me. Take really good care of yourselves. And if you're lucky and you've got people who you love or who love you, take really good care of them too. The candle will be relit tomorrow, 11 p.m. Don't miss it. Much love from me. And on that note, pachoo, and indeed, bosh.